Don't pause. Press play.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, and good dawn, guys. This is your boy Cypherix, just wishing y'all an awesome day. Today we're covering a few tips and tricks for OVERDOX, a new battle royale game that's all melee focused. I want to cover just a few different types of play styles, some combat tips, and hopefully a few things that'll help you guys be more competitive and have more fun. As with all guides I do, this is all based off my own experience, so any tips, tricks, epiphanies are all welcome down in the comments below. To kick this off, let's go over combat styles. The two I've noticed are farming and leveling up and kill and harvest. Farming and leveling up basically means that you're running around the map the longer way. You're not just going directly towards the middle, aiming for as many kills as possible. You're taking your time to gather gold, treasure chests, HP, skills, picking and choosing what suits your needs. Some of the highlights of this style are: 1, the copious amounts of gold you're going to get from opening up every treasure chest you could possibly find, including the gold chests, which are typically in the same spots every time you go to that map, like they're not randomized. The gold chests will have about 150 to 200 gold and will easily make or break you getting a purple skill, which can easily decide whether or not you're going to win or clinch your match. The gold is also super useful for buying weapon level ups or just buying health or regens or heals when you really need them. Imagine being chased by a player and you're barely able to survive. You have like a scratch of health left and you see a cash shop and you have just enough money to get a full heal and turn the tides on this guy. I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. I've been on the receiving end of that trick and I gotta give it to him. It's a very useful thing to just have a little gold on the side to turn the tide, give yourself a leg up and win that victory. Another bonus of hunting and gathering and taking your time is the sheer amount of HP you can make up. Looking at the base stats of a lot of the gear sets, if you jump in, on average you're going to have between maybe 150 and 250 HP without having any chests open or anything like that. If you go around farming those chests, you can easily surpass 300 to 400. I've seen people even get 500 HP and they're like nigh indestructible. You can just wail on them. They can face roll you without even blinking. So farming HP is very, very useful and can easily make your round a lot easier and a lot safer. If you haven't picked up on it by now, this is my preferred way to fight. I'm a long game type of guy. I don't like to just face roll things unless I'm in a particular map. And that is the map, I believe it's called Death Sentence or something of that nature, where basically it's all 12 players are just thrown in a very small, tiny circular map together and it's dog eat dog. There's tons of monsters on it and it's typically like a minute and a half fight. And even then, you'll see me go from room to room looking for stuff players didn't pick up, in addition to occasionally swinging out, killing 1 or 2 players, and then going back to my farming. Farming's really useful. Moving on, the other style of gameplay is fast and furious kill and harvest. You're bouncing player to player, killing them, taking their gold, and taking whatever skills you find useful. Now this is super fun if you are already high leveled, your gear is already up there, and you don't really need to worry about farming HP and you don't need to worry about farming weapon levels, or maybe farming's just not your thing. Go ahead, do this and test your mettle. The cons of this though is that it heavily relies on player skill, because half the time you're going to be fighting someone who may have higher HP than you or may have better gear than you, especially if you go up the league. And in that case, your blue gear that's maybe like level 5, level 6 might not cut it against someone who's in full gold or full purple. In that case, you need to come down and parry or really like kind of feint them out, really come down to that 1 versus 1 skill set that you have over them. And that brings me to combat tactics. There are a lot of different tips and tricks in this game that are very subtle but can be very, very potent and powerful towards winning that victory or winning that 1v1. For the sake of brevity, I'm going to try to rapid fire through these for you guys and keep it simple. First, let's get the obvious out the way. Guarding is useful. Guards can block things. Guards keep you from being attacked. Also, guarding is only in the direction that you're guarding it in. You can easily be flanked and attacked from the side. So make sure that if there's any players in your vicinity, you're prioritizing them over any other monster, or if you're fighting multiple players, prioritize the player that is closest to you by releasing your guard, aiming towards them, and holding your guard down again. This will help you switch between players. Do not turtle. Turtling costs stamina, and stamina is your lifeblood on top of your HP. If you get a guard break, that is precious seconds that a player can just wail on you. It's just like a parry. You're sitting there, you have no stamina, and you can't even attack. You can't do anything, so you're a sitting duck now. So by all means, use a guard, but be smart about when you're guarding and what you're guarding. Do not try to sit through all 3 hits of a heavy hammer. Building off of that, know when to guard. It is okay to guard for a couple seconds, for example, through a dual blade wailing on you, because those are very light hits. You're going to get your stamina back almost as he hits you. But also know that guarding resets your attack chain. So if you're trying to nail that last final hit on your hammer or that last final hit on your greatsword that like can two-shot somebody, don't guard while you're trying to hit them. Instead, plan around that. Use that guard to reset your attack chain to use the first couple of hits. I personally call this guard canceling, and it's really useful on a few weapons, namely Greatsword, Mace and Shield, and Lance. Greatsword, its first swipe on all versions of it open up with the stun that has a great sweeping arc in front of it that can hit multiple enemies no matter where you typically dash. Mace and Shield has a dash forward to its stun that is really good as an opener. Lance has stun on its second poke, so you'll often see a lot of Lancers poke, guard, poke, guard in order to reuse that attack chain and take advantage of its speed and how fast it recovers from attacking. Moving down the list, we have circle your opponents. Many attacks will have a narrow frontal cone and typically move the character forward as they try to take a swipe at you. You can take advantage of this by sidestepping their attacks and attacking their flank or backside the second they move. Usually the second you see them start an attack animation, the direction of that attack is already decided and you can already step out of the way and attack during that animation. It's a small but very open window of opportunity. Avoid status effects, especially bleed, because bleed can completely wreck your entire plan. You may be fighting typically a longsword user, sometimes a lancer, and you're starting to run low on HP and you start to panic. You're like, I need to get to that health station now. And they literally let you run over to it because they know it's not gonna do anything. You can't heal while you're bleeding. And bleed goes through blocks. So if you're sitting there and you're blocking a longsword user, a lancer, sometimes a dual blader, and you're like, yes, nothing happening, and you still get bleed, well, they're just gonna whittle you down over time if they can. Same thing with burn, and this is specifically directed at two particular weapons in the game, and those are the gold level dual blades and the epic level staff. Both cause fire just by attacking you, and fire is one of the best set it and forget it statuses in the game. I've seen guys literally just put me on fire and walk away knowing I'm gonna die. Something you can do to help plan ahead and know what skills to use, specifically know when you're gonna use cleanse, for example, is when you go in the match, click the question mark on the right side. This will show you everybody's weapon at any time in the game. And you can see, oh, that, gold dual blade user is still alive. Let me go get cleanse. Or, oh, that epic level staff user is still alive. Let me go get cleanse. Or, hey, that lance user is alive. That longsword user is alive. Let me go get cleanse. I may be forgetting other ones, but the idea is if you don't see those around, sometimes it's okay to have another offensive skill in the works. Another tip I have is just keep your HP high. And I already feel a lot of people rolling their eyeballs saying, yes, we know it's a fighting game. Well, I mean, after a fight, prioritize getting your HP back up as soon as possible so you're back in fighting condition. Do not turn to another enemy when your HP is at 30% or 20%, thinking you're going to parry and fight him and magically win. Go get your HP back up so you actually stand a chance. This will also prevent you, or at least cut down on you getting ambushed by somebody in the bushes, waiting for you to walk by with no HP. Deny people HP. What I mean by that is if you see someone running towards an HP spot and you know that that's what they're doing, they're low on HP, they're panicking, run ahead of them. Don't prioritize trying to catch them with an attack. Just run ahead and get that HP. Nip that in the bud right then and there. It will be better long term to take that HP from them. Put despair on these people. Take the HP from them first. Watch them run around in a circle knowing they can't do anything else. They'll probably end up just standing and fighting you and taking the hit anyway. Know when to sheath your weapon. Sheathing your weapon is one of the most overlooked skills I've seen. Most often when I'm fighting somebody, I'll see them take a poke and I'll try to run away for a second or get some breathing room, and they'll just kind of trudge after me with their weapon out, and they're taking forever to get to me. This is a no-no. Like, it allows me to get away way too easily. Sheathing your weapon can give you a big burst of speed and help you close that gap and finish that character off. In addition, it's great for being able to go treasure chest to treasure chest or node to node, whatever you're trying to do. It's just good for being able to traverse the map in a faster amount of time. You can use this to get to monsters faster and level up your weapon a lot faster. Weapon levels are key and probably one of the most important stats in the game next to HP and run speed. Weapon levels are one of the key factors that make epic weapons so potent. They start at a default of level 11, which is a whole 5 levels over any default gold weapon you're gonna get. In addition, if you're running around with the TN drone, you get a bonus level right out the gate. So a lot of experienced players that are rocking a purple weapon with the TN drone for the run speed are already starting the gate with a level 12 weapon, which puts them leaps and bounds ahead of the competition of other players who are rocking blue gear or gray gear and need to take some time to farm up and level the playing field. This leads me to my last tip. Do not avoid monsters. Kill them whenever possible, especially if there's no one else around you to bug you. Monsters are a great source of gold and they're a great source of weapon levels, both very key to winning matches. I dare you to go through a match with basic gear and not buy or kill a single thing and win. It's possible, but you'll have a much easier time if you kill these monsters, get the weapon level ups, and buy skills with the gold. And that's it for me, guys. I hope this helped. I hope it was educational, entertaining, maybe a mix of the two. If this really helped you out and you'd like to see more OVERDOX tips and tricks, or maybe just some gameplay, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below how you feel that this should go. I would love to do a playlist of tips and tricks and gameplay on this game. It is getting a good response on my channel, but let me hear from you if you guys really want to hear that. Anyway, love, peace, and elevate your hunts, y'all. Late.